It's up to you, New York, New York.
Detroit Lions, New York Giants pregame.
Smith Boys Podcast.
Smith Boys Podcast.
Brother.
Well, this Sunday, the 3 and 6 Detroit Lions play. Bear with me, just one moment. 7 and 2 New York Giants.
Hi, good night, everybody.
1 o'clock on Sunday afternoon. What do you think about this game, brother?
I think you better lose.
Well,
Can you smell it?
What? No.
There's a life force in here tonight.
the Lions are coming off 2 straight wins against divisional opponents. First road win by Dan Campbell. The Giants are, second in the division behind Philly, who just lost to Washington.
Lost their first game.
I look at the Giants and I say they're a pretty decent football team, but I think their 7-2 record is inflated. I think it's not.
A little bit of smoke and mirrors.
Yeah, it's a little smoke and mirrors. However, they just play solid football from what I can kind of gather, you know.
Good defense.
They haven't really been on TV to watch them too much. And I'm just looking at some of the stats and stuff here.
Saquon Barkley's been pretty good.
Here's kind of what the Giants like to do. They got Saquon Barkley, who's top 5 back in the league. He's phenomenal. Just great. I loved watching him at Penn State. He was phenomenal to watch. Is still. That's their game, right? Is they average 160 yards on the ground. And what do the Lions give up on the ground average? 160 yards.
No shit.
So, the key to the game is obviously going to be the Giants rushing attack and hitting those key third down passes when it's 3rd and 7 that Daniel Jones is going to have to connect. And he's probably going to have to make some plays with his legs for the Giants to have a chance.
Lions got to do the same thing.
Yeah, I think Daniel Jones is still going to have to make some decent yardage in the passing game, but he's only averaging 178 yards. He's averaging 178 yards.
He's running pretty good though.
He doesn't throw many turnovers. He's only thrown 2 interceptions. He's got 8 TDs on the year. But obviously, it's going to be kind of offensive line Giants, whether or not they can get after Hutch now, or in the Lions. And I think the Giants kind of take Hutch out of the game, and that's what, if you go back to when Hutch, everyone kind of killed him in that Georgia game, in the playoff last year. And really, he didn't get enough credit to me, because when I watched that game, I saw Georgia using a ton of going away from him. They were directing plays away from Hutch. The other thing that they were doing is with Stetson Bennett is they were getting rid of the ball super fast. I mean, he wasn't holding on to the ball more than a second and a half every time. It was like he just knew where he was going with the football, and he could get it there. And that really took Hutch and Ojabo out of the game.
This is Lions pregame, bro.
Well, I'm telling you what the Giants are going to do. The Giants are going to run the ball, and they're probably going to run it away from Hutch. And it really probably don't matter because Barkley is so good. So I think the Giants are really going to try to come out and run for probably 200 yards. And the game is going to be won or lost if the Lions can stop them.
Yeah, it's going to be won or lost in the trenches because the Giants just ain't got any weapons on offense.
No.
They don't have any weapons on offense.
On the outside, they got nobody. On the outside,
they can't throw the ball. They don't have any weapons at receiver, but they got Saquon. And Saquon's having a pretty good year. And Daniel Jones is having a pretty good year running with his legs,
Usually
too.
they got a decent tight end, don't they?
I would expect Daniel Jones to get out of the pocket a lot and pick up a lot of key first downs on his legs. I think the
Lions don't like mobile quarterbacks.
Key thing I want to look out for in this game, just kind of a little sidebar, something to look out for. Who does better, Hutch or Tibbs?
Oh my God. Do you hear that, Lord?
Hutchinson or Kayvon Thibodeau?
Well,
the two guys and the 2 top defensive ends coming out in the draft, Hutchinson and Kayvon Thibodeau. The Lions fans were all combating and going at it all year long in the preseason.
This ain't going to be a fair contest, and I'll tell you why. It's because the Lions like to throw the football. They throw for 250 yards a game.
Lions run the ball too, though. Lions are a running team.
They run the ball.
Lions are a running team.
But Tibbs has also got to go up against Penei Sewell. And is Decker playing? I think Decker's playing. So Tibbs is going to be bouncing around, obviously, on both sides, right? He's going to be testing both tackles. But the Lions throw the ball more than the Giants do. So Tibbs is obviously going to have more chances. And with the rushing attack of the Giants, say they just start gashing him for 5-6 yards, and then Saquon's a guy that busts them. Saquon,
he can do it all.
Yeah, he can do it all, man. He really can. He can catch out of the backfield. He can line up at receiver. I mean, I really wish he wouldn't have tore his ACL, because
that's setting back like 2 years.
Yeah, that's setting back a couple years, and it's unfortunate because he was robbed of that career. But like as a fan, you're robbed of watching great people, great players, great talent. But so
Lions are notoriously not a good team on the road, though, even though they did just get their first road win.
I feel though that this team may be having some confidence. I think they have. I feel maybe a little moxie.
Maybe a little moxie. But then all it takes is one team like the Giants come down and knock them off the ladder and just say,
it can happen.
You ain't what you think you are.
I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you right now.
Brother, keep cutting me off, brother. Brother, keep cutting me off.
Sorry.
Yeah, you got to get in your grandstanding and your hot dogging, don't you? Yeah.
No. But here's another key point, right? Is the Bills are supposed to have, because I guess they're supposed to get like 3 to 6 feet of snow in Buffalo.
Oh. They're talking about moving the game to Detroit.
Because the Bills are playing Thanksgiving in Detroit. So the Bills would basically have 2 home games, essentially, because they're going to set up shop here in Detroit for 2 weeks. The other thing is, say the Lions win this game, brother, on the road. Here's a CQ for you. Lions win this game on the road. You can't tell me the Bills lost a heartbreaker to Minnesota last week.
Yeah, but did Josh Allen even play in that game?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, he did.
And he's hurt.
Yeah,
he's got a hurt bum elbow.
He's pretty dinged up.
Yeah, he plays the game like damn maniac. He's got to stop. He plays the game like a cowboy, and he has got to stop. He's going to end up dead. But here's the thing. Lions beat the Giants. They go 3 games in a row. Boom, boom, boom. That is not easy in the NFL. You can win a couple, but to win 3, that's not by accident. I think they play the Bills on Thanksgiving, and they...
What?
I don't see it happening.
I'm telling you,
no way. I don't care what they do against the Giants.
I don't
think there's I don't care what they do against the Giants. There's no chance they beat the Bills on Thanksgiving.
I don't know, brother.
I think
the Lions are going to be. You can't tell me that, brother. The Lions win 3 games in a row. This game at Ford Field on Thanksgiving Day will be so damn hyped. I'm telling you right now, brother. They had a chance to go 5-6. Go! I mean, they're 1 game to 500. This town's going to go berserk. They beat the Giants. This town will go berserk. Everyone will be on board. There will be so many damn the bandwagon will have broken down because there'd be so much weight of so many fans jumping on.
No, you're right.
Tell me I'm lying.
No, you're right. I think you're 100% right. But I think there's a couple key components to that. Number one, if it happens, it doesn't matter. They ain't beating the Bills. And number 2,
you can't say that.
Tough titty, said the kitty.
And number 2, I don't think they're beating the Giants, so I don't think we're going to come to that.
Okay. All right.
Dan Campbell's won 1 game on the road in his first year and a half here. He's won 10-1.
Yeah, 1-11-1.
1-11-1 on the road.
That's rotten.
His first road win came last week against the Bears when I don't care. Come at me, Lions fans. I think Chicago shot themselves in the foot enough times to where they bled to death. And they gave you that game. So, I mean, that win was kind of flukish. I mean, yeah, they stood up. They won the game. They did what they were supposed to do. They showed their grit. But if Chicago doesn't go nuclear.
They showed grit.
If Chicago doesn't go nuclear there, Lions lose that game. Okay? And the same thing against Green Bay. If Aaron Rodgers doesn't go nuclear at the goal line, you lose that game. And you're still at 1 win. You're 1-9 at this point, or whatever that would be.
Yeah.
So I don't think. I mean, these wins. I guess if you're a coach and you're looking for progress and you're a player on the team, a win's a win. But in the grand scheme of things, I look at these wins and I think context does matter. When you're looking at building and going forward, I think context matters, and I think the context shows to me that I think it shows that those other 2 teams really shot themselves in the foot.
Yeah, I mean, you can't.
Because you were getting your ass kicked against the Bears most of the game. And then at Green Bay, I don't think you were really
ass kicked.
Against Green Bay, I don't think you were really getting your ass kicked.
Let's look at the stats.
But against Green Bay, you should have been down probably 21-0 in the second quarter. You should have been down. So, but those are, a week and 2 weeks ago, so we ain't got to rehash those games. We've been there, done that.
Hang on, real quick. Time of possession in the Bears game was Lions advantage by a minute. Total yards, Bears had us by like 80 yards. Passing yards, we threw for 228. Bears 150. Bears, here's the difference. And this is where the Bears really screwed up. They rushed for 258 yards, but I think Fields rushed for like 150 of it. And the Lions rushed for 95 yards. And the Bears had 9 penalties. The Bears really, again, shot themselves in the foot.
They did.
So
100%.
They had
Penalties
one
and
turnover.
turnovers. Penalties and the turnover, the pick six. So what do you want to do? You want to do predictions on the game?
Yeah, let's do a little prediction.
I'll give you, I'll say Giants win 28-20.
Well, let's take a look at the odds here first.
Brother's a Vegas guy.
I think it's important because I think it gives you a lot. The Vegas knows.
It's probably the Giants by 3.5.
And I do not bet on the games, but one of my buddies, Jim, Rick's brother Jim, he always knows the line, knows the over/under, or usually does when I go up and watch Michigan games with him. But so that's what kind of made me pay more attention.
What is it? Giants by 4.5, 3.5?
Giants by 3, over/under 45.
I'll take the over, and I would say the Giants cover.
45.
I said 20. I said 28-20, so I would be the over.
I like to do over/under first. I'm just trying to think possible scores. 45. Well, I could see 24-13. So I'm going to take under. I just see that as a score. I'm going to say the Lions.
Lions win 24-13?
Yeah.
Oh, God, help us!
Wow, brother's got Lions defense stacking up.
Oh. I don't know, man. The Lions? What am I doing? I never picked the Lions. 24-13 Giants.
God.
24-13
So what is this? So where does this game put you going forward if you're the Lions if you win? I know we talked about the crowd to be hyped for the Buffalo game the following week.
Oh my God!
But which is true, but it's just like I don't know if we even want to get into it again at this point because it's like every week.
You do.
It's just because like every week it's like we're beating it with like a dead horse.
It's a wait and see approach, right? I mean, right now the Lions are in a holding pattern. All Lions fans should be. I'm going to sit back and just see what happens over the next few games because whatever's going to happen is going to happen. Okay, root for them, get upset about it, be happy when they win, whatever. But you have no control over it. So whatever's going to play out, just sit back and let's see what happens. Because if they start to win more games, then you start to say, hey, they are building something. They have guys. They got an offensive line, obviously. They got to figure out some pieces, right? Quarterback. They got to figure out what they're going to do with Swift. They definitely need linebacking help. They definitely need secondary help, and they got to get Hutch, another guy.
Yeah, they need everything on defense.
That's true. However, it's not like they don't have draft capital coming up. Even if they just play out the season, regardless of trying to tank or whatever, but just trying to build a culture here. I get that point of it, and I really do. So, to me, I think they should try to win every single game because I think they need. The Lions have never been good.
You're changing your tune then.
Yeah, I am.
Brother's changed his tune.
Yeah, I am.
Who sold you?
Just kind of rationalizing it. It's like the Lions have been bad. They've been through 7 regimes or 7 coaching changes in the last 9, actually, if you count the interims. Remember this from earlier Smith Boys podcast. 9 coaching changes in 21 years. 2 of them were interim, so knock those guys out. 7 guys. That's 3 years. You're turning over a new coach. I mean, you cannot do that over the last 21 years, people. You cannot do that and be successful in the NFL.
No.
So you have to eventually, try to make something work. And you've got new pieces in place, and let's see what they do, right? I mean, if you're an objective observer of this whole thing, and just looking as an outsider looking in, saying, "Hey, let's see what these guys can do." Last year they stunk. But they gutted the roster. They know they were going to stink. And they got their guy in Hutch. Okuda has come back and played, I think, quite well. They got a guy maybe in Kirby Joseph. Hawk is gone.
Penny Sewell's good.
Penny Sewell's good. Decker, you're going to have to make a decision on Decker and Ragnow down the road. But you need to draft these guys in the 4th, 5th round, 6th round. You need to find offensive linemen, right? And that's the thing. So that's kind of where I see the Lions, and to me, you have to win. You got to play to win the game, like Herm Edwards said.
Wow, brothers done a full 180.
I'm trying to be objective
because we were in the tank mode of getting the number 1 pick.
Yeah, that was but if they had lost these last 2 games, obviously you are in tank mode. It changes your outlook a little bit.
I'm still in tank mode. I just want Bryce Young.
Well,
I'm still in tank mode.
They could still get Bryce.
I think if you win this game against the Giants, I think I'm no longer then in tank mode because
you can't be,
because then it's like, well, you screwed it up so bad. There's no way now. Now
4 wins is never going to do it.
Yeah, and so now it's done. So I mean,
well, you're not gonna have first, but you could still get 3rd, 2nd or 3rd, maybe 4th. At 4 wins.
But I know they still could get Young, regardless if they win, 6, 7 games. But then you're talking
they're going to win 6. They're going to win 6 games.
Then you're talking you got to trade both your 1st-round picks to move up, and it's just like I don't think it's worth it at that point.
But I'll say this though, I still think that there's a Lions clunker coming. They're going to play hard against the tough teams. The Giants are a tough team. Bills are a tough team. But when they go on the road against Jacksonville, it's a team they really should probably smash. If they've played well against the Giants. If they played well against the Bills, it's like it's there. But they're going to go down to Jacksonville and totally lay an egg. You can see that coming because that's SOL. And that's how you know if they go down there and smack Jacksonville. That's how you know this team is different. I'm telling you, it's those types of games where they tend to play down or up to their competition.
That's a good point because if there is a culture change afoot. Then
that's a key game.
Then they take care of Jacksonville and Carolina.
Carolina too,
both easily. I mean, you're talking they win by 10. Which in the NFL is big. You win by 10 in the NFL, you won pretty handedly.
Right.
So I mean, you win by 2 scores against both those teams, and I would say maybe we're seeing a culture change as afoot.
Just win them. To me, just win them.
But if you go down and you split those games or lose both of them, there's no culture change to me because those are bum teams. Those are bum ass.
You're
teams.
Not there. I'll say this: say it's either black or white. You're either changing it or not. But I think you're still figuring out where you're at in that change, and you're not there yet.
Yeah, but those games are later in the season. I mean, those are games later in the season. We should know more at the Giants game and the Bills game. They play them tough, whatever. We're seeing a culture change, and then if you turn around later,
I don't know,
a couple weeks later and lose to those teams,
here's where I struggle with the Lions so much. Everybody does, but it's like just a few games ago, it seemed like the players had quit on the sidelines. That was kind of the body language that I was reading too much into, brother. I mean, we kind of talked about that.
Patriots game.
Yeah, the Patriots game. I mean, from that game where they got goose-egged to, winning 2 games in a row, I mean, that's the Jekyll and Hyde of the Lions.
But it's also, again, you got to keep things in context of how they won those 2 games. The Chicago and Green Bay basically gifted them to you.
Yeah.
Green Bay wrapped them up and put a bow on it and said, here you go, Merry Christmas, and gave you those games.
Yeah,
so it's like, I mean, the context matters of how you won them. I mean, good on them is...
Over the stretch of the season, yes.
Good on them is, the fact that they took care of business and they won the games. When they had the opportunity to win it, they seized the opportunity and they won it. But they were fortunate enough to have the other 2 teams give them the opportunity when those games probably should have been out of hand. The Bears game should have been out of hand going into the 4th quarter because they were already up 14, and then the Packers game should have been out of hand the 2nd quarter because they probably should have been up 21-0.
Yeah, I agree.
So I mean, if that happens, they're still at 1 win, and then you can play the whole game. Oh well, we should have beat the Vikings this week, and then it's always a give and take.
And it's always a give and take. What the Bears were trying to do, you go back to that play that really turned that game around where Okuda picked them off. the Bears were really almost kind of trying to get cute, at that point. They were up 14 points, and it's like they're trying to throw a tight end screen. They're going for the kill shot, I thought at that point they were really going for the kill shot, and it bit them in the ass. And the Lions took advantage of it. I mean, that's what you got to see. That's what teams got to do. And I think winning for the Lions right now, they do have a lot of young players. They've never really felt like what it's like to win. Yeah, Hoochie Mama.
Hoochie Mama! Hoochie Mama!
Yeah.
But
I mean, we got to do.
I was thinking we do a mid-season Lions report
We could do that.
Oh boy, howdy.
after
Do one of
this one.
those,
Yeah.
We got coming this weekend. We got Michigan, Illinois. We got Alabama, and I think it was, I don't know who the hell we play, Austin P or something like that.
Yeah, it's a typical game late in the season where Alabama just,
Cupcake
takes
game.
somebody behind the woodshed just because they want to.
Yeah, it's always usually a cupcake before Auburn. So,
Tune-up game.
so we'll have some. We'll probably combine some pre and post games for them.
Yeah.
The Lions post game too, give an analysis.
Yeah, it's a big football weekend.
they're
Brothers
at,
coming
so.
over. It's a big, we'll be over here doing podcasts.
We'll have lots
and
of
stuff.
content coming this weekend.
Yeah.
So keep your eye open for that. Till
Yeah, I
then,
think yep.
Smith boys. Out.
See ya.
Hi, good night, everybody.